Welcome back. Dr. Tamara, before the report, you talked about the idea of how the Biden administration shows unwavering support for Israel. But if you could also give us an idea about your opinion, how could a Trump presidency affect the U.S.-Israeli relations, especially in light of the recent events taking place in Gaza and Lebanon? He has also obviously said that he supports Israel's right to defend itself, but he critiqued Israel somewhat when it comes to how they've handled the situation in the last year.
Whoever will win, if it's Kamala or Trump, I believe they will all try to reach a ceasefire. The war cannot go on indefinitely, and this means, and if the war comes to end, both parties will go into long extended talks with Benjamin Netanyahu to reach a ceasefire, at least in the early stage. And but then there is also a new front between Iran and Israel that calls for a different confrontation at a level that would go certainly beyond the normal borders of Israel, and this far-fetching war may actually have its toll on the entire region, if not the entire Middle East. And I must say, the U.S. may have its own ability to press on, to apply pressure on Benjamin Netanyahu, but then what would happen with the situation between Israel and Israel? Furthermore, let me say that Iran has said a couple of months ago that the West has unfortunately betrayed Iran and is putting Iran at the forefront of the responsibility for staging a third front open with Israel, and therefore we see that in the actual confrontation between Trump and Harris, there has been no consensus on this, and eventually, whether if you talk about the pressure of Netanyahu on the front with Lebanon, on the front with Gaza, or on the front even with Iran, and therefore these are increasing tensions in the area, and these frictions are leading to a further escalation of the event. And I believe that there will be further pressure there will certainly be a lot of pressure from the new administration, whichever wins, from the U.S. On coming to terms with a ceasefire at no matter at whatever cost. Furthermore, there is the Zionist lobby in the U.S. is certainly supporting both candidates for the U.S. elections, which means that the winner will mean that they have to abide by the rules of the Zionist lobby, no matter what, given that this is an important game changer.
Yeah, but as you've said, that the possibility, regardless of who wins, whether it's Harris or Trump, most likely a ceasefire is near. If someone comes into office soon, they will definitely pressure the Israeli side into taking a ceasefire deal. But when it comes to Harris, since you talked a bit about Trump right there, when it comes to Harris himself, what specific policy changes might we see when it comes to Harris if she wins, in comparison to the previous administration when it comes to Biden, regarding the humanitarian situation in Gaza? Biden seems to have, sort of been unwavering when it comes to the Israeli side, hasn't pressured the Israeli side enough to let in, humanitarian aid, for instance, in Gaza. Do you think Harris will try to distance herself from what the Biden administration did during the last year?
No, I don't agree. In my opinion, Harris is a strong supporter of the Jewish lobby and Israel. In fact, same applies to Trump. They are both almost swearing an allegiance to the Israeli side, And of course, this is an important card that has to be used in all the negotiating table, because it means that if there is any confrontation during a possible negotiation, if there is a need, for instance, to put some pressure on the American Congress so as to be favor for Israel, it would certainly pass whatever decision have to be taken in favor of Israel. The same cannot be said about the Palestinians. But
Yes.
there has been some sort of an autocracy on the Biden side
Yes.
with this.